How's it going? Dave from Comic Book Investments. So in this video, we're going to look at 5 keys that are dropping, and some of these are dropping quite a bit by 81%. And actually, it's very sad because on here was one of the books that I spec'd on and I bought a lot of, and it did not go the way I was hoping it would go. And yeah, so not happy there. Yeah, lost a lot of money. Yeah, I would say, yeah, pretty much all of them, most of them, I lost money on. And some of them I made money, but overall, definitely lost money on this spec book. Ugh, breaks my heart, but I deliver the news, whether it's good or bad. All right, so let's just jump right into it. First up is we got Amazing Spider-Man 365. A 9.4 is down 55% from 160 to now selling for 72. A 9.6 down 67% from 255 to $84. And a 9.8 back in April of last year sold for 775. Now currently selling for 243, down 69%. This is the first appearance of Spider-Man 2 2099. A lot of people talk about, well, it was like a preview. This is considered his first appearance. Yeah, so this one had a lot of hype and going up because Spider-Man 2099 is featured in the trailer of Edge of the Spider-Verse 2. So, but how big of a role is he going to play? It could just be Miles Morales is in an alternate universe and it's a very quick thing. Who knows? But nonetheless, it went really high and has been ever dropping ever since. I would imagine that when the movie comes out, it should see a slight bump. I know the movie got pushed back, I think. I can't remember. But I think it got pushed back. So it's going to be a little longer until we see him. Next up, we got XMen 142. This is the Days of Future Past. That part 2, a 9.4 is down 67% from a high of 250, now selling for $83. A 9.6 down 42% from 375 to 216, and then a 9.8 back in September reached a peak of $1,100, now currently selling for $480. That's down 58 or 56%. Yes, I mean, that's kind of typical. A lot of these like more Bronze Age keys got a huge boost from the comic boom. A lot of times because they're like pretty much affordable. And then people realize, oh, there's a lot of them out there actually. And so they've dropped ever since. And I mean, will this book come back? Yeah, it'll eventually come back. Will it drop more? Yeah, it's going to drop more. So I don't think this book has reached its bottom yet. Next, we got Usagi Yojimbo #1. A 9.4 is down 57% from 546 and now selling for 235. A 9.6 last April sold for 900, now selling for 316, down 65%. And a 9.8 once sold for 2,800 back in July, now selling for 950, down 66%. Yes, if you guys remember, this book was on my spec list, and I practice what I preach. So yes, I bought a ton of these. I think I currently have right now like 12 or 15 up in my store. And yeah, they've been, man, it sucks. I mean, that's the thing with speculation. You don't know. No one knows for sure. You can take educated guesses, and sometimes you win out, but other times you lose. And even me, as long as I've been doing this, I thought, this is all the things that happen. I was like, okay, they're coming out with a show, and it could be a huge, huge show. So I was buying the books, and then what ended up happening is the show ended up being a kid's show, and Netflix didn't even really push it. It was literally like they didn't really have a trailer until like a month or 2 weeks prior to the show releasing, and that was just kind of it. It just kind of faded by. No one really said anything, not much publicity going on for it, nothing. It was just kind of there and gone. I subscribed to Stan Sakai, who created Usagi, and if it wasn't for him posting like, hey, it's released on Netflix, I would have had no idea. And it's not like he has millions of followers. He probably has maybe 100,000 followers. I have no idea. But that's pretty, it was bad marketing. It turned into a kid's show. It also came to the time when Netflix like lost all these, subscribers and lost all this money. So they were probably abandoned ship on a lot of things. They were just greenlighting everything. And they made like a new show every day. So this was just like another thing for them. Nothing special. And so, yeah, that worked against it. Also, another thing worked against it is when I was buying it during the comic boom. So I was buying this last year in, January, February, March, April, May, all through that. And that's all when things were at its peak. But it's like, I couldn't predict that we were in the comic boom, like that a comic boom was going to happen. No one could. Like, I'd like to find someone who's like, 2 years ago, it's like, yes, actually there's going to be a worldwide pandemic. And then everyone's going to shut down. All businesses are going to shut down. And the government's actually going to give people a bunch of money. And then they're going to take all that money and then they're going to start spending it on like comics and collectibles and things like that. Not to mention the Fed is going to lower the rate so much that borrowing money is pretty much free. And then crypto will be at an all-time high. No one could have predicted all that kind of stuff. And then you can say, well, things were already inflated. Why were you still buying when they're inflated? Well, I was buying them and things were still going up. It's like I said, I was like April, May, June. I was like, oh man, it keeps hitting higher and higher highs. But it's hard to see like you're actually in it until the dust settles, right? And so the dust has settled. I like stopped buying when they started. I saw like, oh, this is getting kind of high, whatever. So that worked against me. I got it then. Some of these I sent to CGC, and then by the time I got them back in, it's like, oh, the show sucks. No one cares. No one even knows really it exists. I've never even seen it. I've never even heard anyone talk about it. So it's like all those things working against you. And, it didn't work out. That's what speculation is. Just like this next book didn't work out. Next, we got Marvel appearance number 10. This is the first appearance of Shuma Gorath. 6.5, once sold for $4.05, then sold for $76. Down 81%. An 8.0 from 600 to 238, down 60%, and a 9.0 once sold for $6.99 back in April, now selling for $3.84, down 45%. And that one that sold for $76, that would be my copy. I just wanted to get rid of a lot of stuff, and it's just one of those things, kind of like the Usagi. I didn't have too many of these. I think I had like 5 copies overall. I made out fine with these because like half of them made money and the other half didn't, but I made up for it. So I definitely was beyond breaking even with these. But it's just one of those things where it's like, oh, he's going to be in the movie. They show pictures of it. It's definitely him. And they're like, well, actually, we don't own the rights, so we're going to call him something different, Gigantus. Because no one's ever heard of that. It appeared in one random Tales to Astonish issue one time. And because they didn't have the rights, it's like, okay, how would anyone have known that? Just one of those things. That's the thing of speculation. You don't know what's going to happen. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not best friends with Kevin Feige. I do not know. I'm going off of my intuition. Now, these didn't work out. But most of the time it does work out. That's how I'm able to keep a roof over my head, because I win way more than I lose. And, you win some, lose some. Definitely these were massive losses for me. The Usagi, I just, like almost every copy just lost money. It's like, ugh. And on top of that, they went to CGC and they came back like terrible grades, but I don't have time to crack them out, resend them, and wait months and months and months to get them back and hope for a better grade when they'll just drop even more. Whatever. I mean, it's still in Usagi, so it's not like it's going to be dead weight. I mean, there'll still be people buying it. It'll just take a long, long time to get rid of all these copies. All right, last one is Werewolf by Night number 33. This is the second appearance of Moon Knight. A 6.5 is down 61% from 600 to 237. A 7.5 down 42% from 600 to 350. And an 8.5 is down from a high of 995 to now selling for 460, down 54%. And yes, a 7.5 and a 6.5 both had a peak of $600. And you're like, why? One's higher than the other. Just is what it is. Sometimes, people want something and just happens to be the time that they buy it and it's the only one available and they're willing to pay too high of a price for one. But yes, Moon Knight's been going. I think on my last video a week or two ago, I had Werewolf by Night 32, first appearance of Moon Knight. So this is the second appearance. Yes, this is dropping as well, which I expected. If the one that will hold the strongest will be the Werewolf by Night 32. That one will hold the strongest overall. Every tier that you go down on Moon Knight or any book that's dropping, the more significant the drop will be. So next up would be like Werewolf by Night 37, which I think came out either right before or right after Marvel Spotlight 28, which is his first solo appearance. I can't remember off the top of my head, but that book will drop even more than obviously the one after Spotlight 29 and Moon Knight #1, so on and so forth. They're all going to be kind of dropping quite a bit. I think people really like the Moon Knight character, so I imagine it'll drop when the hype settles, but eventually it'll come back up. All right, before I end this video, I like to do an update on one that I've done before to see what's going on. Just pick a random book that I did like 2 months ago and see if it's still dropping, if it maybe is leveled out, or if it's going back up. I'm actually kind of surprised at this one, actually. But if you like this kind of stuff, hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed or you haven't subscribed yet, hit the like button too. Leave a comment. Let me know what book you've been kind of specced on and didn't kind of work out for you. All right, last one is Predator #1, a 9.4. When we did this before, had an average of $139 back in April, now averaging $127, down 9%. A 9.6 was averaging $173, now averaging $198, so up 14%. And a 9.8 once was averaging $748, now averaging $679, down 9%. I'm actually surprised that this book hasn't gone up recently, because obviously there was the comic boom, boosted the sales. Then there is some rumors that they're making a new movie, so it kind of boosted. The rumors kind of faded, not much going on. It kind of slowly dropped with a lot of the books. But then a trailer drops, a new Predator movie. It's called Prey. It's not called Predator, so maybe a lot of people don't know about it. It's also straight to Hulu, which I have, and I'll watch it. I think it comes out in August. It looks like it deals with like Native Americans. I couldn't tell you what time frame. Could have been any time before the settlers came. So it could have been thousands of years ago or hundreds of years ago. Don't know. But in any case, there are actually settlers. So it has to be in like, I don't know, like what is it, like 1600s, 1700s, somewhere around there, I guess, because I think there are settlers in it. Anyways, so the movie's coming out. I would imagine this book would like surprise a lot of people and people would have jumped on getting this book, but it doesn't look too much like the case. Yes, there's a few that kind of boosted it up, like the 9.6 went up 14% on average, but I thought, at least the 9.8 would have went up as well, but that's not happening. So who knows? Maybe people don't know about it. Maybe this is the first time you guys heard about it. Watch the trailer online. Could be cool. I don't know. Hopefully it is cool, because I've watched every Predator and surprisingly they get worse and worse. I don't know how. The last one with, I forget the actor's name. I think it was the guy that played. Was it Scott Eastwood? The guy that, I don't know. Anyways, they have like a Predator dog, and he shoots him in the head with a shotgun, but it doesn't kill him. It basically makes the Predator dog dumb and nice. And I'm like, what am I watching? This movie's rated R, and it's supposed to be like, we're going to bring it back to the old Predator style. I'm like, this is like so campy. And I don't know. The whole thing was bad. Anyways, so hopefully they bring it back old school. Anyways, have a great weekend.